Zozo, stop.
I think we're rolling.
All right, we're live back in the Birdhole, guys. We've had a long, eventful weekend, so we're just here to talk about it. We attended our second music festival in Chicago, Illinois, Lollapalooza. So I think that's what we're going to be first starting off with today. AJ here. What were your experiences with Lollapalooza?
Well, there was a great list of artists, including Billie Eilish, including Kendrick Lamar, including Red Hot Chili Peppers, including Lana Del Rey, including Pusha T. But you know how many I've seen? I saw
Little Yachty. Don't forget about Little Yachty.
Yachty. You can't figure out. But I only saw two people. The whole logistics at Lollapalooza are awful. They're really just too many people for what it is, and trying to get through all the hormone-infused teens to the stage is just awful. I think compared to Bonnaroo and things, where everything there is run well, it's spread out, and the logistics are really well. Chicago is just a cluster. Going to Lollapalooza, you just can't see who you want to see.
Absolutely.
Crowd's worse.
Spread out. Cut off at 10.
Yeah, the security is very aggressive,
Absolutely.
I would say. And it's just a tough experience, tiring, trying to get all over the place
Absolutely.
and through the city. It's just a mess for everybody, I think, involved.
Think about the scammers. You go there. If for anybody that wants to go there next year, avoid the scammers of all costs because those bands do not work. They are in droves. You'll be tried to sell wristbands probably 100 times before you actually enter the festival. But we unfortunately got scammed out of 2 tickets, 2 wristbands. So AJ has the experience with that one.
Well, the Saturday we show up, we go to StubHub, get tickets. Sunday they don't have them, and so we go on the street to try to see what we can do. People are charging $200 or $300 a ticket, which is absurd. So we kind of waited till toward the end, and all these scammers. So once word got on, all these 16-year-olds try to come up and start hustling. So they're trying to buy bands from people leaving the get re-entry. And the problem is if you don't tag out, you can't get back in. And so they were just collecting bands and trying to flip them. And, you could, but the problem is people would go in and then security would catch that you're not able to get in. They would send you to the box office. Ticket didn't match the receipt on the bill, and then they would kick you out. The security that they hired in there were just aggressive. I saw one of them get into a fist fight with one of the patrons trying to get in, and they were spending all the time trying to fight scammers and all this. It was just a big mess.
Yeah, for a festival, you go there to hang out, and then by the time, we had tickets for Sunday, we probably showed up with 25 minutes left of the festival, so we only got to see 3 songs. The Red Hot Chili Peppers, which come on, it's one of the biggest headlines. Standing in line to see the show tonight, and there's a light on,
heavy and glow.
But that's the only song that we kind of recognized.
Don't Stop.
Don't Stop. Yeah.
Don't Stop. Californication. Those are other songs, and one song from the new album, which nobody wanted to hear, but that's all right.
They're legends, but again, that short curfew time is just so different. I get that Chicago has its own sound ordinance and stuff, but for Bonnaroo, we're used to partying at 5 a.m., having a good time.
The problem is that they have 2 main artists, and they go on the same exact time. So you're choosing to go to one, you're choosing to go to the other. We decided against Odessa and went to Pusha T, and he was kind of lazy with the show, didn't do much.
So we ended up at Odessa probably after Pusha T cut his show about 20 minutes early.
But the problem was he also tried to incite mosh pits, and
He's
so
50 for God's sake.
So trying to shoulder check a bunch of 14-year-olds for a night is kind of interesting, I guess, if you want it to be, because it can, and it was, but it's just irresponsible, especially after Travis Scott and the whole Astroworld thing. Trying to incite a ride is not a good thing.
Yeah, it was definitely a weird environment for a music festival. I feel like that the first night we couldn't get any food, everything, and when you include that many drunk people, it's kind of dangerous at the same time. But just getting out of there was a headache. But I think it's safe to say we're not going back to Lolla next year. What'd you do this weekend, Frank?
This weekend just worked really. I was gonna say I was jealous, but it doesn't sound like you had a very good time. So
it was a great time in Chicago.
Good friends,
yeah.
Good company, and it was worth the story, I'd say.
Absolutely. it's like again, it's always fun to see the Chili Peppers. It's fun to see Pusha T. It's but again, you want to enjoy the show and not really worry about leaving there unscathed. You know.
Yeah.
So again, it's a good time, but at the same time, like it could have been a lot better. Especially with our experience with Bonnaroo, we would recommend a Bonnaroo to anybody, even for a day pass. I mean, it's a unique place, that's for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it's hit or miss sometimes. In Chicago, Lollapalooza probably years ago was pretty fun, but it's just gotten to be where there's so many people, and Chicago's such a big city. It's just really hard to run a huge festival. I don't know how many years they'll do it from now because it's just kind of a headache for the whole town.
I think it's been around for 31 years.
It's the oldest running festival, I believe.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Again, it's a fun thing. We're not bashing Lollapalooza, but at the same time, like, that's just our experience from our weekend.
It's just a different crowd to the Bonnaroo. People are there to stay. People are there to camp.
Have you ever been to a music festival, Frank? One of the big ones?
Woodstock 69.
Yeah.
That was a big one. Did you stay around and watch him?
I was at CMA Fest this year. That's
right.
That
Yeah, how was that?
It was pretty good. I feel like moving to Nashville now. I like you're kind of obligated to listen to some country.
Absolutely.
So listening to Luke Combs sing about Duracells and a mag light in Nissan Stadium.
Yeah,
it's pretty country, Frank.
It's pretty country. It's
for a Detroit boy. That's pretty good. I'd say.
It's kind of odd though. Like me and AJ both here were raised around Nashville, and I feel like it spiraled out. I mean, like, what do you think of country music?
It's kind of bland. It's very bland. It's just very. It's very kind of a Mad Lib production of writing. I think now they have some.
It's all about buzzwords, right?
It is. That's what it seems like.
It's like insert random color to describe your truck, something that made you sad, whether something happened to your dog, your girlfriend left you,
to stealing your baseball hat.
Yes,
None of that makes any sense to me, honestly.
But Luke Bryan's impersonation of Kermit doing country is not a bad thing for sales.
Yeah. I mean, American Idols, I feel like, made him to almost be like
I think so. Took my truck down the 405.
I don't know.
You like that?
No, I don't. I mean, I've seen him before. I'm just man, like,
is it the eyeliner that turns you off?
I don't know. It's about like someone that's almost 50 singing about spring break.
My little 80 pie.
Yeah.
You wouldn't let him in the sorority house? You think he could get access or?
For sure now. I mean, I wouldn't see why not.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like that's the clientele right now. But I mean, just being around it, like, I feel like country music used to be so authentic. You
saying it's geared to the sorority girls now?
I think so. Anybody driving a monogrammed car with the sorority letters on the back, you know what they're blaring.
Odessa.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
That's more the 30-year-old programmers.
That is.
Odessa, yeah.
Demographic,
sure.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Overall, that show wasn't too bad, though.
You like Odessa?
I like some songs, yeah. I think it's cool how they bring out the featured artists in the songs.
What do you think the best concert is you've ever been to?
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't a Taylor Swift fan, but if you go see the Eras Tour, it'll change your mind. It's the most impressive.
So are you Taylor fan now?
I'm definitely out of the closet Swiftie fan
you're a Swiftie now?
She's
a Swiftie. It's unfucking believable.
She's amazing. I mean, it's a Broadway play mixed with great music, fine artistry.
In 3 hours of nonstop. Like, I don't know how she does it.
And it's good stuff too. Usually when you go to a concert, you're dedicating 5 hours, getting there, coming back, and just you sit through a lot of shit that you want to hear. But everything was pretty good with Taylor, I'd say. Has been as far as production value, that's probably the best show.
Yeah.
Seeing Paul McCartney was cool.
He was a legend for sure.
That was an awesome show this year. You can't beat Taylor Swift.
That's the biggest tour that I think it's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean, that is like the biggest tour ever, right?
Yeah, I think so. Grossing,
investment standpoint, and
it's unreal. I don't know how someone pulls that off, especially week to week.
Who do you think could rival that, like, in the future?
I don't think
anyone right now.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I mean, I couldn't imagine so. Because she just appeals to such a wide fan base. You know, mothers, kids, I mean, everybody.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else that
No,
have the
family
the
oriented.
broad.
It's like the Disney World of tours.
Yeah, I enjoy her
Yeah.
music, and so does spans demographics, spans generation. So I don't know. I mean, she's kind of the generational talent right now.
Yeah, you think of it like no one's done it since like the Michael Jackson Bad Tour, really. I mean, you can compare some tours, but there's nothing that's been done like this. I mean, it's really unreal, and if you haven't seen it, like you're missing out for sure.
She's this generation's Beatles. I mean, she really is. There hasn't been a mania towards somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you go to the show, I mean, the fans are crazy. They love her so much. I mean, Swifties they roll deep and very loyal. But I've never experienced anything like it. It's definitely changed my opinion of just her music in general and where she stands as an artist.
She writes her own songs. She does her own production, and she's a hell of a businesswoman. So
I think she's like the first person I can think of to be on track to be a billionaire through music. You know, a lot of women in the music industries obtain that goal through like
guys
makeup.
too. I mean, who are the billionaire artists right now? Paul
McCartney got it, and he's
Jay-Z.
81. Jay-Z did it through music production, through record labels.
Kanye through fashion.
Rihanna through makeup, Kim Kardashian through makeup. But you think like Taylor Swift solely off music and touring is going to hit that goal, which is like, to me, I don't know if it's ever been done.
Yeah, that is kind of wild.
I mean, to think about it, and she's only 34.
34.
Like, I don't know what she could do after this.
No, she has to retire, go into Noir films. She only acting con.
I think acting would be the only other channel she can get. I mean, you see people that want to do it. I mean, Elvis did it. Obviously not known for his acting career, but overall, I think that's a very obtainable goal, and I think someone would give her a chance as a leading role. I think she'd do well at it too.
Yeah, I'm sure she would.
Yeah. But I mean, to me, the success in the music industry is the hardest to do. She's been around since probably mid-2000s, 2007, 2006. And, I mean, just to branch out of the country, I mean, completely redefined herself.
Doing kind of shitty country songs to doing, well-produced, good music that she wrote. No, it's hard.
She's the pop queen for sure right now.
It's hard to rival, I think.
I mean, you think, like, Miley Cyrus did something similar as, like, a Disney Channel superstar. Like, she had to go to the extreme to get out of that, you know? Like,
she had to stick her tongue out and grind on Robin Thicke on national TV.
Absolutely.
See, Taylor never had to do
nothing like that.
Anything
and that's what makes her so appealing.
That's strange.
She's never tarnished her legacy as far as things like that go. Again, you could talk about her love life and stuff like that, but that it really doesn't put a damper on what she does.
Yeah, it's not even that public. Like,
no,
the love, it doesn't go deep. There's nobody who says, even John Mayer, who talks well about Taylor. Gyllenhaal never talked shit about Taylor. Nobody ever does. I don't know if they're just kind of. Yeah, I don't know why. You know what I mean?
It's really something special to see because, I mean, like, you don't see them. You really don't understand, like, the kind of heights they achieve until, like, 10 years from now. But you can kind of see this one coming, I think.
What's your best concert, Frank?
Best concert? Maybe, like, Roger Waters in Detroit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you could see anybody, who would it be?
Sid Barrett.
Ooh. And anybody dead or alive?
No, we got to keep it alive. Because obviously, like, I think, like.
But you see them in their prime, though. So, like.
It's huge,
You know what I mean? Like, seeing Elton John, amazing.
We've seen Elton.
But if you saw Elton in the 70s, you'd be, it's kind of different,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But who would you go with?
I'm trying to think of who I haven't seen that I'd need to see. You know, embarrassingly, being from Detroit, I've never actually seen Eminem live.
That is kind of crazy.
But
he doesn't tour that much.
You have seen his daughter.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I guess we went to preschool together.
That's pretty big.
That's kind of cool.
That's pretty big.
Like pre 8 Mile days.
Did you ever see Eminem pull up in the?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. But you never know who you know. But I mean, he was massive in what, 99, 2000.
Yeah. What year did 8 Mile come out?
2003, 2001.
Yeah, it was like early 2000s, right? 2002, something like that. We'll look it up at some point.
Yeah.
You ever been to 8 Mile?
Yeah, I used to live south of 8 Mile.
What is it like?
Well, well, let's start with the road. The road itself,
Yeah.
the surface isn't great because it's a road in Michigan.
Yeah.
It's a big problem there. The Motor City does not have very functioning surfaces to drive on.
Pretty ironic. They make the cars, but
they make the
can't
cars, but they don't make the surfaces well to drive on.
Yeah, Harvey Firestone was over in.
What's it?
I think he was out of Ohio.
Oh yeah, Firestone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so that's one problem. Then you get into the whole aspect of it's kind of like the Wild West when it comes to driving laws. When you get into the city, it's about keeping as much space as you can from, the people on the road. There's some dangerous activity on the roads. You see, I don't know. You ever see those like viral videos of people, spinning around on their Chargers on the John C. Lodge freeway?
What do they call it when you like try to jump lanes or something? Where you jump through like the spaces in between interstate lanes?
Oh, I don't know.
There's like a viral sensation. They do it. I forgot
Sounds
what
like
it's
a very good viral sensation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 8 Mile. It's when you get south of 8 Mile that things get a little more dicey. But
it's a beautiful city, as far as scenery goes. Michigan, the state.
It's a decent looking skyline.
It does, yeah. It's huge.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Detroit and ancient Rome are the two cities in the history of the world that have lost more than 1 million people in population.
Damn, that's pretty cool. That's a good fact. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like so much of the GDP of the U.S. used to be.
It used to be the
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
But it shows you how fast, things
change.
transition.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley, it's like there's an exodus out of that pretty soon. Just
absolutely.
People move.
They lost Tesla. But I don't see
Tesla's coming back to California though, aren't they? They moved to
I have
Texas.
I don't know. I feel like they spent so much money building that Austin factory. They could have. I'm sure they could do something there, but I don't see Apple leaving that area.
They're structuring a lot of their headquarters over in Durham, or in Raleigh, Durham. Yeah, they're definitely setting themselves up because just businesses aren't advantaged for being in that area. I mean, it used to be where you had the central kind of the center sphere of the whole computing world was over there in Silicon Valley, just because you had Stanford and UC Berkeley pumping people into here, and it was just kind of a natural progression. But the people understand there's talent going everywhere. Raleigh, Durham, and Nashville, and Miami, Austin. People are moving out there, and plus the advantageous to be in business in those cities, just from tax.
I think with all the remote work too. I feel like
it's another big
there's
break.
less of a reason to have to live in a high cost of living area if you can
true.
do 90% of your job from.
Our next podcast guest will be a great example of that. Like he lives here in Nashville, but he works for Meta, and it's going to be a little Easter egg for us. Give you a little sneak peek of next episode. Yeah.
We won't
give too much away. He's a big deal over there, and he's got some great news for us.
Some great products.
Some innovation.
Some innovation.
Unseen products, not on the market yet.
Some innovation.
Lots of innovation.
Yeah. For sure. The thing is,
which of those companies do you think is doing the coolest stuff right now? At least that's public, like stuff that, like, you got like the Apple Vision Pro coming out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What else?
The Metaverse.
The Metaverse.
You have the whole Oculus. I think for a Fortune 500 company, for somebody to take so many chances, Meta to me is the most forward thinking. Obviously, you have Zuckerberg, who's been with the company since its inception. And
he's kept that thing rolling well too.
Really well.
Whatever you want to say, his acquisitions.
His acquisitions.
Getting Instagram is massive.
Yeah, strategically, every play he's made has kept things going great.
And he did it as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
And he's still...
I don't know whose podcast I was listening to earlier today, but when he was 22 years old, they turned down, I think, like their first offer for $1 billion for Facebook. He would have made like, I don't know, $200-300 million off of it. And
that's crazy to think. That's some big money to turn down, especially when you're that young. But I guess if you believe in your product that much, you don't care about the money at that point.
Well, and I think part of it too was that valuation was based off of what Facebook was at that time. But he had all these ideas for everything he wanted to grow it to be, and when he knew there
Exactly.
What he could do with it. So
A vision's everything in a business world. I mean,
Yeah, with
without it, you
him,
have no
with him at the
guidance.
helm, he's going to keep innovating because
Mhm.
you don't necessarily have to run it because you're competing against Apple, who has this already intertwined machine within the community as far as their
Mhm.
products. They really, as far as innovation, they don't have to do much. You have Tim Cook, who's one of the best business people in the world,
yeah.
running it great, but they're not Steve Jobs. They're not innovating. They don't have to. They just have to run a good company and everybody's happy. Given they make great products and they do innovate, but it's just not relative to what has been in the past.
Absolutely.
It's a little different now though too. I feel like all the innovation we see now is all like, I don't know, software based for the most part, and it's not as like, it's different than unveiling the new iPhone, at their keynote.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Having something like that, it's a little more ambiguity. It's like these things kind of just creep up on the world and change
They
it.
do.
Like look at TikTok.
I came
Like
out of
Ti-
nowhere.
like Vine existed, whatever the story was with that,
Mhm.
disappeared, was shut down, and then TikTok kind of was similar, but then is now like
Yeah, they
way
were
bigger.
They were
and-
just advertised as like the little dance things. I remember seeing them all the time on the
Yeah.
YouTube ads.
yeah,
They would pop up, and then next thing you knew, it blew up and became the next big thing. And that's pretty much what all the kids use now. I mean, they don't use many other social media apps versus TikTok.
Just trying to find dopamine channels and how you can
That's it.
accentuate those through
That's what it
shorts
is, yeah.
and attention, and if you keep kind of setting forth that, companies eventually, whether or not they try to invoke kind of that dopaminergic response and get you addicted, that's what you want for your product, but they just kind of stumble upon it sometimes, and in the form of shorts. And
it's just the easiest way
It's the easiest.
to get
Yeah.
the most people's attention, and
it's the easiest.
I
I mean, who can take a dump without watching YouTube Shorts?
That's
don't-
true.
It's
Is it
not
hard?
possible.
It's
I
not
don't think.
possible.
You drop your shorts, you watch YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
Instant entertainment. That's for sure.
Instant entertainment. I mean,
No ads.
and
no
thank
matter
God
what
if you
do.
can sit through our 30-minute video.
Yeah, seriously.
But
Shout out to you.
I don't know, I feel like podcasts are like a little retreat from all this like
True.
short form media. It's
That's
like
true. It
relaxing
is,
to
yeah.
like
Yeah, if you're driving,
be
Put it in the
stimulated
car.
listening to something, but it's
Exactly.
not.
you can't fall asleep to YouTube Shorts.
I mean,
No.
if you're a psychopath, maybe.
This-
But
You should check.
If you fall asleep to one of our shorts. We got a viral sensation with Frank's hole-in-one on the golf sim. Be sure to go check that out. But I mean, yeah, you can't. I mean, it's just not set up. I mean, it's meant for you to scroll on in for
hours
30
and
minutes,
hours,
hours and hours. I mean, honestly,
until your battery dies.
until your battery dies, or until you just see like repeated shorts, and that's when you know you got to get off. But it's cool. But I back to Zuckerberg. I think he's on the forefront of something huge. Like I think the metaverse is possibly going to replace a lot of our entertainment appliances. Video game systems, TVs, sound systems. It's going to change the way we view everything.
Yeah, the thing is, we're already in kind of an augmented reality. I mean, you rarely see people cross the street without their phones. You're in conversations, you're with your phone. Just kind of, it's the way to operate in this
You
world.
have to hope the person crossing the street on their phone doesn't get hit by the person driving
Exactly.
through the intersection
Yeah.
on their phone.
But we've tried the metaverse. We were,
The
some of the
metaverse
first
is
people to
pretty
try
cool.
It's
it.
unreal.
And you are
The ping
more.
pong game and Oculus.
Yeah,
That cat
the
is
cat is
hard
on
as
fucking
shit.
real.
How is he so good?
But
Frank, you're pretty damn good. You're volleying with that cat for like 30 minutes. But like
That's
I
a good-
couldn't. I scored 1 point. I was done. Like,
there's a ping pong game on Meta in the metaverse, and you play. It's very realistic. They have haptic feedback kind of enveloped, so you
Yeah, I
can feel
mean-
yourself hit the vibration. And when you take off the headset and you realize that you're in a different world, it seems almost
The real world seems unreal at that
Seems
point.
unreal,
right?
That's what's weird
Yeah.
about it.
but imagine this. I like the upsides, like concerts. I mean, you're literally going to be immersed in a full concert in the metaverse. You're going to be able to watch any sporting events. Like seeing like a Super Bowl, and that would be pretty cool, I think. Because
You think they'll sell tickets to it?
they have to. I mean, they're going to be selling tickets to I mean, it's a whole nother revenue system.
You think it'll be
for
like
artists.
it'll be like pay per view? You can you go watch like Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul in the
It's gotta be,
metaverse.
yeah.
You can definitely watch shitty boxing
Yeah,
on your
jeez.
metaverse. And the thing is, if you go to those events, here's the kicker: you see everybody on their phone; they're all recording
Mhm.
it. You can really. You feel realer in the event, in a metaverse event, than you do actually there, because everybody's on their
Absolutely.
barrage of text that you have to respond to keep everybody happy. And people are checking their Instagram and other things. You're getting there for the moment that you're being there. It's kind of like a tag.
I mean, not even just for the entertainment purposes too. Like, I mean, for like anybody that uses Microsoft Teams or any kind of work office software, like these things that have a virtual conference room.
I was gonna say we need to record an episode in the
Oh, in the
Metaverse.
Metaverse,
We'll have
we
to
can
all
do
get
that.
Oculuses.
Metaverse.
What's
episode
the
coming
plural
up.
of? I guess. Is it what's the plural of Oculus?
Oculi.
Octopus.
But at the same, yeah, we're all pre-ordered our for the Pro Quest 3. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the new one coming out.
Yeah, so we're all ready to get that. So that's probably
That'll
gonna
be
come
cool.
soon. I think it comes out in September, so next month. We'll all be locked and loaded with the Oculus.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, we'll try to get us a podcast of that. We can have some more entertainment guests too. I think we could persuade someone to come on to the Metaverse.
Through the Metaverse, yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
You can interact with the thing about the Metaverse is you can interact with anybody you want to.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of there. I think that's kind of the segue to take us away from this kind of pseudo augmented reality.
Just be fully immersed in it.
You can be fully immersed. Yeah, it's kind of like
Mm.
being a precursor back to the time before we had smartphones.
Yeah.
And you can really enjoy yourself because you can't look at your phone there, and
No.
you're kind of
You're
for a minute.
experiencing a whole other social activity. I mean, it's just social interaction back.
You fish
Yeah.
with 5-year-olds. They taught you how to fish.
They did, yeah. So shout out to those guys.
Caught a
Show me how
snapper.
to cast the Metaverse fishing pole. It's a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, but hey, we caught one. But I'm excited to see what Meta comes out with. I mean, but everything they can. I mean, the Metaverse is going to be massive in the next couple
It's
of
going
years.
to be massive.
It just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. Innovative companies. You have to think of the innovative person. I mean, you can't be Tesla for that.
Yeah.
He's somebody, he's not making a car company, I don't think. He's somebody that's trying to make whatever his grand plan as far as being ubiquitous, whether we're using all those Teslas are collecting so much data. And so that data is going to be utilized for something. It's just not a car company. And whatever he has planned, have you guys looked at the robo-taxis or kind of the AI bots that he's using now?
Not too much.
I haven't
No.
seen it.
I mean, it's pretty interesting to have kind of its own personal network of
Mm-hmm.
cars running on their own.
I mean, there's a new rideshare coming to Nashville that's fully self-automated. And it's a
Which one?
startup. I can't even think of the name, but it's similar. It's just they're doing it in a few cities. Nashville's one of them, but essentially it's an Uber where you book a car and no driver shows up and you get in. And
Would you trust it?
yeah, I think it's probably just as safe as anything else.
Safer.
It's
Yeah.
probably safer.
Yeah,
But
My Uber driver
so
was
then
hit
it's like-
5 people this weekend.
he what?
We almost hit like 5 people. in there.
absolutely. We
Really?
got pulled
Yeah.
over. I mean, like Uber. I mean, I've been in a car wreck with Uber or Lyft.
You want to take Uber?
Yeah, you want to take Uber for sure.
What's your Uber rating?
It's 5 stars.
Is it really?
It really is.
Five on
Mine's
the
a
dot.
4.7.
Mine's a 4.99.
Mine's 5.
Why is mine 4.7?
Did
You must have been a jerk to one of the Uber drivers. Why can't they rate us? We're paying them. Honestly, like, why is that a thing?
That's not fair.
No one wants that. I get it because
it protects
there's
them a
some
little bit.
jerks
You
and
know,
stuff,
there's a
but
lot
at
of
the
jerks.
same time.
There's all sorts of people trying to scam drivers, cancel rides,
That's true.
and stuff like that.
Do you get a ride faster if you're a higher rating?
You do.
I
I
bet
think
you
it's
do.
preferred. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you have to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, man, if you only go like 3 times, you have a bad Uber driver. Then
That's
what
like
is
that. That's like that Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Which one?
Save your face, hold the nose, or whatever. Where the girl's going around trying to interact like on this kind of Instagram thing, and it's a social credit score. Have
Oh
you seen
yeah,
that one?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
That's
one.
the best Black Mirror ever.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like you'll eventually just have to switch to Lyft if that happens. You know, You get
Lyft
too many
rates you
dings.
too, right?
Well, some cities,
It
Uber's better, Lyft's better in some cities.
What city is Lyft better?
It's
Well,
like
I don't want to
Coke
say
versus
maybe
Pepsi.
not better, but like
Imagination Land?
I feel like in Chicago, Lyft always seems to be a little cheaper from the
It
airport.
really is.
You
Yeah,
notice
it's,
that?
I
Yeah.
know that the from Midway
Yeah,
to the Gold Coast is like $60 for Uber, and it'll be like $32 from Lyft.
yeah,
But I could never get a Lyft driver to accept it because they're always
all-
doing both.
yeah,
So why would they pick that?
yeah.
Yeah, they always do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't get that either. Like, how is that not like a conflict of interest? You feel like they'd have.
But
Like
if you, I mean, if you were a rideshare driver, like
yeah, you'd want
you're,
both.
the incentive is just there. You're gonna click whichever one is offering more.
Does anybody have access to Uber's quarterlies where they acquire Lyft? When does that happen? What quarter is that?
I don't know. I feel like that's just going to be like the battle of like Sirius and XM radio, like in
And
the
they're
mid
both-
2000s when they
Yeah.
merged.
Yeah.
Because they can't sustain together, honestly.
They're both powerhouses now.
They're both powerhouses, but the reason why is because every Uber driver is also a Lyft driver.
Yeah.
Same thing with Uber Eats and Grubhub. And how weird is it that Grubhub is constantly, and Uber, taking losses? Like, they've never netted a profit. Like, what is up with that?
I don't know. You
I
can't.
think just the logistic of scaling
That's
something
what it
like
is.
that. It's
But
like,
it's been there for years. I mean,
I mean,
Grubhub was
Amazon
first.
didn't turn a profit till when?
Yeah.
Like,
2008.
yeah.
The thing about all that the companies are based on data collection.
That's true.
So when you're getting Uber Eats, they know what they're selling, they know where it's going to, they know what demographic orders, what time, and your data is your commodity. It's not necessarily kind of the widget-based
Mhm.
system that economics was based on for years. It's your data that's being equitized.
Absolutely.
So it's not. It's interesting business model for future. The future business model is definitely data is commodity.
But
Yeah.
don't you see a time when everything just becomes self-automation, where Uber and Lyft is just going to have to produce their own fleet of vehicles, or it's just totally autonomous?
Will it be what kind of vehicle will it be? I mean,
It'd be-
have you ever seen those little carrier carts in
Mhm.
like big cities that just bring it to you?
Yeah, I can see it doing that. And maybe that's what they're working towards.
Drones.
Drones are huge. Whatever happened to Amazon drones?
You just put like a climbing harness on and they just drop you off. That's like the new Uber Blade.
That'd be sick. I'll ride it.
That's a thing, right? Uber Blade. You guys heard of that?
It's a helicopter service.
Yeah, you can take it like in New York. I think it's like, I mean, you could pay like $150 to cross the
Mhm.
bridge in New York, or you can pay $200 to ride the helicopter.
I'm
Worth
going
it.
with the $200.
Yeah.
There's
Do
no
you,
doubt.
do you think that Uber will adopt a private jet system and
I
make
think
it
they already
equitable
do,
for
don't they?
people? Do they like NetJets?
It's not like similar, but I do think they offer the service.
It's not the option on my phone.
Well, we don't have it.
Your rating's not high enough for
I
that
don't
No.
get
yet.
it.
No.
But I could totally see him doing that. I'm
I
surprised they haven't.
think jet travel is just, I think, logistically too expensive to have something that's
Yeah.
that mainstream. You know,
Mhm.
Airlines can't even work out themselves.
there's actually
No.
there's a Canadian app though. I'm pretty sure it's Canadian where there's something kind of like that. It's like
Yeah.
I think it's for like they have a lot of empty legs, right? Like so if you fly one way and there's a jet that's there and they need to go back somewhere else, you can get like a discount on it and pay like maybe a few $100 or a couple grand as opposed to like 20 grand to fly. And I think it's a Canadian company. I don't remember what
Most
it's
people
called.
don't do
but-
that. Just do self-leasing jets, like just open seats up on private planes. See what happens.
That makes sense. I mean,
No.
That couldn't end poorly at all, right?
No.
no. It's all about when you try to make transportation equitable. It's all about a mass scale.
Yeah.
So you could ever work, that in. Airlines themselves can't autonomously really turn a profit. A lot of them run off government subsidies.
And their
and
margins are
things.
so thin.
It's awful.
I know.
They're
No.
overbooking flights nonstop, and then they're paying people to not
Yeah.
to give up their seats.
No, it doesn't
thousands
make
of
any
dollars.
sense.
I mean, we were on a
Yeah.
Southwest flight with 5 people.
Really?
Yeah, on the way down
Friday.
there, then we're
It's crazy.
completely packed on the way back, full ride. So I don't know how. And they're the same price tickets. So they lost. Essentially, we flew private on the way down there.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
5 people in the airplane.
Yeah, they didn't even do boarding calls. They just told everybody to get in line, which is pretty cool. It was the nicest flight I ever had.
Definitely was.
But I think our next episodes are going to be coming from Memphis, Tennessee. We are headed to the FedEx Cup playoffs for the St. Jude Classic.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, so stay tuned for some interviews with some top tier
Uh-huh.
pro players.
My bet's on Justin Thomas to win.
He didn't get
Yeah.
in.
What? I heard he got in.
No.
What happened?
Last time I checked, he was 71 or 71st
So we have to.
on the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Somebody has to.
What's the cutoff?
70.
Oh, really?
He missed about one spot, I think.
Wow.
Somebody has to get sick.
Yeah, so
It'll be like John Daly, the 9th alternate, and then
Yeah,
winning.
there's no
winning.
alternates in this.
Yeah.
71 isn't going to go in.
So
No.
so 71 wouldn't get to go then if somebody was sick.
Nope.
It's just the field shrinks a person.
Yeah, so I mean, when you get to this level on the PGA Tour, you essentially get bonuses through every week. I mean, I think this is the only tournament with a cut.
What's the purse size? It's like the winner gets 15 million.
So
or
if the winner of the FedEx Cup gets, they get 15 million, I believe, plus the purse of the tournament. So you're looking at like almost $18 million. But I think John Rahm's leading, Scotty Scheffler close second. But it's a pretty exciting time, and we have no majors left in the golf world, so this is all we got until football season.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Lions' chances this year?
Better than last year. They look pretty good. First winning season since 2016.
You know how many times I've heard that, though?
They're not going to win it.
It's a tough.
You get Jared Goff as quarterback,
yeah.
you know. But I think it's fun. I like seeing those underdog teams turn out better than expected. You know, I think Chicago Bears could do well. Hoping for the Tennessee Titans to rock out a winning season, but at the same time, like it's probably the Kansas City Chiefs they're unstoppable. It looks like
Miami.
Yeah, they ain't got no fucking
Miami.
chance.
They have that new coach.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be between like Kansas City. I like to see Aaron Rodgers do well with the Jets.
It's a good pick.
I mean, but honestly, it's always going to be Joe Burrow's good. The Bills are good, but I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are just on a different level than everybody. But I hope not. I mean, I like to see change. I don't want to see back-to-back Super Bowl champs and take that record away from Tom Brady.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, but you cut it here.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see you on the next episode of the Birdhole.
Yeah, next episode of Birdhole coming soon.
Exciting things.
We've got a meta engineer coming in. So stay tuned to see that one and like and subscribe.
Hit that bell icon.
Add a comment if you want. We'll get back to you, I promise.
It takes a while to get through all those comments, but
Yeah.
we'll do it.
We delete them all really quick, so that's why you don't see them.